What if I told you that for just 10 cents a day, you could keep this Datsun on the road? Would you dial this phone number below and talk to one of our representatives? Kidding. Welcome back to Aaron's 1972 Datsun 510. Work continues. I have cleaned up almost all of the metal down here. I went out and bought new sanding discs for the finger sander, and now I'm going to get back to work here on this car. Once I get it fully cleaned up, I will weld in this patch and then move to the front and weld in that patch, as well as the reinforcement plate that goes right here. I'm not moving as fast as I want to over these past couple weeks. Life, right? Thanks for sticking around, and I hope you are enjoying everything so far. I'm sort of over this. I just want this part of the project to be done. It's getting a little long in the tooth. That's all I'm saying. Let's get to it. GoPro, stop recording. Hey guys, if you're new to my channel, I'll just let you know that I am going to be working on this 510 probably till next summer at least, before I start really driving it regularly. So you should have regular video content. If you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and also turn on the notifications. I'm releasing a new video every Friday, and look forward to seeing your comments, as well as seeing people interact with me. Go ask questions. I respond as quickly as I can to pretty much all comments on my channel. That's the beauty of being a small channel. Just like the other side, every time I do a job, I seem to get what I believe is better on the next side. So as you see, I've got this whole entire area fairly well cleaned. I've got all of the old rusted metal sort of taken off here, and I even straightened this inner piece before I started to even make this. There is a hole right here. I am not going to fill that. That's going to be taken care of by the plate that I put here. This plate is going to be actually thicker than the original plate. But this is fairly smooth. It's not perfect. That will allow me to true up the other piece as best I can whenever I make this whole area. Before I do all that, I will fix this rust hole right here just by laying a patch panel on top, slot it into this spot, tack welding it into place, and then putting it there. I'm actually probably going to use the thinner metals because I don't want to try to blow through this other metal. Then I'll weld this other piece in, and we'll keep moving forward. But I'm really happy with the way this turned out, and I'm going to spray some WD-40 here and here and work these loose, so that way I've got those able to be brought in and out. That way I won't have to hopefully break off these bolts whenever I go to redo suspension later on. But I'm happy with the way that turned out. I was able to get these pieces largely completely off and cleaned up quite a bit with the finger sander. So next part of the video, I'm going to go ahead and fix this hole right here. And the way that I'm going to do that is I'm going to take this, I'm going to make an impression of the hole. Then I'll go ahead and trace that out on some metal, which For this one, I'm actually going to use the lighter metal that I can cut out with the tin snips. So I will cut that out with scissors. I have one, it's dark outside, so I'm dealing with that. I have traced out this hole onto the thinner metal that I have left over. I have very little of it left. And now I am attempting to massage this piece to where it goes. So I believe I have it like this. There's two ways to do this, right? You can either make this hole larger or this hole smaller. I'm choosing to cut down this piece as best I can. And now that I've got that sort of closer, I will do a little bit of filing. Looking at this piece, this is how it's set up. I've got a fairly good fit on this side right down into about here. Right about there. I use the tin snips and trim a little bit more off this corner. I can get a better fit. Yeah, this goes on for quite a while, so I'll go ahead and save you the last little bit of it. Video this rather than do a time lapse, just to sort of show you what some of the work sometimes turns out to be. I would normally not go quite so crazy with this. I would just make an oversized cut and move on, but this is sort of relaxing. Trying to get a piece to fit just right. All for a piece that no one will ever see again. Why are you making such a big deal out of this? Because I can. I'm going to cut a little bit more there. And yet again, a tiny bit more off the bottom of this thing. I said a tiny bit. That, and then, okay, so no more trimming on this end, it appears. Seriously guys, it went on for another like 5 minutes, so I just cut it. Hope you enjoy. One of my GoPro batteries is going bad, so I went ahead and ordered some more, but I've got one or two that are still working okay, so just hoping they started to swell up, so I'm just trying not to get blown up here. Anyway, I've got this piece in place. I'm going to go ahead and do a couple tacks before welding it in the rest of the way. I'm going to turn the power way down, as this is older metal and this is the thinner metal, so I don't want to just burn through, especially since I removed some of the metal whenever I was doing my sanding to clean this whole area up. Looks like it might be a little too cold. Man, I'd really like if this stupid thing would stop, or this GoPro would stop telling me I have an SD card error all the time. It's really obnoxious. But I've got that welded in. I'm going to cool it down, take a look at it real quick, and then button up the rest of this area. I'm still getting a lot of like blowback right here where this metal's maybe not the best. That's not good. Alright, third time futzing with the camera today, and I think it's done. hopefully throwing errors at me. I have now got this piece in, so we'll go ahead and give the inside a nice coating of primer after we sort of get some of this excess crap out, and then we'll close this piece up and put on the panel that goes here, and then we'll move forward. But very excited that this is closed up now. I'm not going to knock down these welds at all. I think that they're perfectly fine. However, let's get in a little closer and take a look. Let's get in there. Okay, so whenever I first started out, I did 2 tack welds, sort of to show you what I'm doing. I did one here, and I did one over here. This one turned out okay. This one seemed like it was a little bit tall. So I actually turned up the heat a little bit, and you can see along the back, even though I laid down just tack after tack, like it definitely sunk in and caused a much cleaner appearance on the welds. And underneath, there's not a whole huge like slag or anything crazy. So again, doesn't need to be perfect. Just trying to make the car a little better than it was. Good is the enemy of great, I guess is what I'm saying. So let's go ahead and get back to it. So I haven't talked, or I haven't filmed any video in quite a few minutes. I got this piece in right as I was finishing it. I ran out of shielding gas, so I decided I would go ahead and cut out this next piece and start working on it. Obviously, I didn't really think this through very well as I made these humps so that way I could sort of push it farther back into this gap. However, I didn't think about the fact that I would need to bend these tabs up, otherwise I wouldn't be able to lay this thing flat. But the nice part is I was able to use this to secure this outer piece. I will, after I get done cutting these pieces off, I will drill the holes for the plug welds in this, and then I will make the template for this that will cover all of this area. Once I'm done with that, I can go from there. But it is coming together, and on this piece over here I will have one right angle across the entire bottom portion of it that I will have to bend into it, and then I will have a little tab out here that it will continue to go on past, so I can tie it in here. But this piece is in. I was able to spot weld it. For the plug welds that I put in here, I ended up having to turn up the power to ensure that I was sort of biting into the frame metal behind it and then bring it out to this patch panel. And I just ground down a little bit here so that way it would be out of the way. But that's there, and I do have the piece to place here as well. Some of you might think, why aren't I taking off these suspension pieces and sort of cleaning them up and putting them back on? I have full new suspension for it, but I need to get this thing back down on the road, get it running, check and make sure everything's good to go, and then I'll actually bring it back in, bring it back up in the air and replace the suspension. But my goal is to really get a large portion of this done over the next couple days. So I finished off a whole entire shielding gas bottle. That's the first one I finished off since I started this project. So excited about that. A better welder probably wouldn't have needed as much because they wouldn't have wasted so much time. But the pieces are in, so we're going to keep moving forward. Even though I can't weld, I'm going to cut out all these pieces, have them ready to go, so that way whenever I get the welder or get the gas, I can just weld all these pieces back in, and that's what we're going to do. Thanks for making it to the end of another video. I just cut out these pieces, as you see, using paper to give myself a good template as I move forward. Once I get that done, I lay it up against the sheet metal I have and go ahead and cut that out. If I were to do this all over again, I wouldn't have put this sheet metal here. I don't know where I would have put it, but I probably would have cut it into 4x4 sheets or maybe even 2x4 sheets, so that way I didn't have to block my access to my bench this entire time. It was a poor thought out plan, but sometimes you just run out of space and you gotta do what you gotta do. The Ryobi grinder seems to be working just fine. However, it doesn't seem to cut as well as the Harbor Freight brand. I've also sort of given up on my metal brake as it's just not powerful enough or big enough to bend this type of metal. So you see me here using my floor vise and a hammer to bend this piece over, get it all into place. Actually, running out of the shielding gas made it where I could get quite a few of these parts done beforehand, so that was good. If you like these videos and you're not already subscribed, please consider subscribing. If you're already subscribed but you haven't turned on notifications, go ahead and ring that bell. That'll let you know whenever I upload a new video, and I am targeting to upload a new video once a week on Friday for the entirety of 2021, assuming that I've got projects to work on.